I think I see it. I'm gonna make my way there in a moment.
I took off right at you guys. Didn't realize you were at the other end. So I buzzed you on takeoff.
Right, I'll start the stream now, and hopefully we'll get going.
Gosh,
Steve,
this is amazing.
Am I still pretty quiet?
No, you're fine. All right.
Okay.
Hello, everybody on YouTube. Welcome to this very special event. We have Martin, who's the creator of this beautiful aircraft you can see here, and there's many of them at RF Valley. And we're going to go for a bit of a flight. And look at the turnout here. I have never seen so many Hawks in one place, rather than probably the real Valley. Absolutely great to see it. So yeah, if you want to come along and join us, I have a link to the Discord below. And as I say, Martin, he is the main man behind this aircraft, so I think we should all just congratulate him for producing an absolutely just beautiful model. I mean, you know, fantastic work.
Yeah.
Let me speak to him. I can't get mine started.
Jump start.
I just can't. I just keep hitting start runway start, and it's just not. I'm waiting,
That was
but
amazing
it's
drift.
just not wanting to go. I'm gonna have to get jumping into my Italian one in a minute.
Respawn in the air, buddy.
For anyone who's watching on YouTube, please just let me know if the levels are okay, because no doubt I'll have
Just
to do a
logging
bit of
in,
tweak.
Steve. I'm just logging into YouTube to watch.
Oh, much appreciated, thank you. Because yeah, sound levels are always a thing that you think I'd be good at it. This is my job, but I always.
It's not going to get a lot of quality.
Spark is finished streaming too, but just the VR eyes.
Looking good.
Hey
for me.
Sven, how are you, my friend? Good
I'm
to see you here.
doing very well. I love the plane. So Martin, nice job. I love it.
Thank you very much. Honestly,
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing like this out there
No,
for Microsoft
nothing.
Flight Simulator. There is training aircraft that are very nicely modelled, but not to this level, without a doubt. And yeah, you should be very proud of what you've created here. It feels, in fact, if anything, I'm a general aviation guy, but this is now my favourite aircraft. I just fly this all the time now. So,
You say that every week, Steve.
sorry, Martin. Something to say?
We sort of pick the Hawk as natural progression up from the GA, so kind of, you know, if you
That
use
makes
flight
sense.
Arrow 3, then the Hawk shouldn't be too much of a challenge, although it's obviously a lot more powerful.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Can you look left
Absolutely
and right,
stunning.
Steve? When I'm looking at the right.
Yeah, I have to say the flying this plane in VR was again one of those standout moments in you know, where you're just like, this is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flying your own little red arrow in VR. It's just
I don't know how many Hawks Microsoft drawing for everybody else, but I've got 16 here at the start of the runway.
Yeah, and there's
That's a
more
lot.
coming. There's a
Wow.
line of 4, 5, 6,
Jeez.
and then I'm over
Yeah,
here on the side, pulled off the
great.
left, waiting for Steve, and
Maybe I'll taxi a bit quicker because sorry, people are waiting behind me. I'll go a bit quicker. Sorry.
And no CCDs either.
I'm just looking at. I can't believe how many
Yeah.
Hawks I can see there. Look at that.
So
I
it's
think Steve has the best livery.
has a good success, huh?
That is a very nice sight to see. It must be nice, Martin, seeing your aircraft in action like this. It must be.
It is. I tend to be on multiplayer when I'm doing a lot of my testing, and I'm always getting buzzed at RF Valley, and yeah, it makes it a lot more alive, I think, when you can see other people around. But yeah, I'm constantly getting dive bombed by Hawks, and
there's an Italian imposter though on the taxiway.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, I think there's a citation somewhere as well. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, there's a couple of the 339s.
One F-14.
I take it Martin's one of the developers of this model.
yes, so I'm the kind of Just Flight development manager, so I sort of head up development. And,
Excellent job, sir. Excellent job.
Yeah, I've got a good team here, but I've done the primarily this systems coding, systems logic. But we have very talented artists, as you can tell from visuals.
And
sound.
the sound is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a guy called Mike.
It's better than the Goshawk was when that came out.
Yeah, how did you do the sound, Martin? I'd be intrigued to know how you even went about it.
Well, we've got a combination of sounds we recorded on a real aircraft and sounds recorded from videos, that kind of thing. So it depends on the aircraft. So the guy called Mike that did this. So for example, the 146, just before lockdown last year, he flew over from Amsterdam to RF Norfolk, and we spent a rainy day sitting there at the airport, invited by the RAF to record the real aircraft. So they started up the APU and the engine and full access to the cockpit, and so that's the kind of the best opportunities we have is actually go and see the real thing. It's also a combination of online sources.
Amazing.
Excellent. Guys, do you know any of you technical guys out there? How do you make the Discord sort of chat louder on it? I guess it's just the voice channel, isn't it?
You can increase individual people's volume, or
There's people on YouTube are saying the voice is a little bit low, and I want people to hear what Martin's got to say about this aircraft because it's really fascinating.
I think you want to do the master voice just under the voice panel. There's the where you're doing your mic and voice and mic. Is it? I think it's called.
Yeah, user settings, voice audio, and then output volume.
Yeah, so I've just actually that's maxed out now. So please let me know in the chat if that's any better.
Otherwise, you might need to do it in Windows or something.
Right, guy. Oh, well, look at this. Look what a sight this is.
Yeah, traffic jam.
Traffic jam.
I wonder, will the smoke work if we all put our smoke on?
Oh my god!
I got missiles.
Mine's
Is
up.
that even a good idea? I don't know. It might just like.
I'd wait until you're in the air.
Everyone else.
Yeah, probably a bad idea. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that.
Do a flyover, do a tower buzz over Scampton, and then try it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Right, guys. Honestly, when you want to crack on, we'll.
Tell you what, if you're not in
take
pole
off.
position, this could get messy.
It looks already messy.
I'm staying
how
on the
about-
taxiway, I think.
Who's on the grass? Who's on the grass? That's the smart thing to do.
Well, I don't know if you can see my smoke, but I'm in the air.
Oh, you've managed to get it all
Yeah, I
set up.
just spawned in the air in the end.
Okay, that's
You're
cool.
gonna get-
It does
you'll get a
fly
few in.
really well, so thank you, Martin.
Okay, I'm gonna take off.
Here we go. Sven,
Yep.
do a right turn all the way back to follow the route. That way everybody can catch up and get airborne right behind you.
All
Are we
right.
doing a circuit? I'm flying a circuit.
That's Jose.
Yeah, that's me.
Bloody hell. Welcome to the UK.
So,
Thank you. This is amazing.
I'm gonna go. 3, 2, 1. Brakes off. Like the Battlestar Galactica.
Go.
Good.
People on YouTube, I really do appreciate you helping out here with this audio. It's a bit
Ah,
tricky.
there's another one that's faster than me.
I think I'm getting there. I should. I'm better now. Brilliant. It's 320 Sim Pilot. We appreciate it, my friend. And thank you for your support as well. I really do appreciate it. So I want to have you here. Look at this, like, look at the carnage here. Oh my goodness, this is so good.
So I go to the right then, but
Left hand. Let's go left hand.
What a sight watching everyone take off. That's
I'm gonna
amazing.
do it. It is amazing, isn't it?
Wow. 5,000 feet, you'll done good for 30 or 40.
wow.
Wow.
And everyone in the first batch disappeared.
Oh my dear.
I did notice that. I did notice some folks disappearing.
Yeah.
Disappearing things like that.
Multiplayer since SU5 has been rushed.
Right,
Is that true? I
folks,
can
I'm
hear
now
you.
going to.
So I have to take a right then.
You'll get a few hits off this thing.
Yeah, we can just head straight on to the. I think the first port of call is Conway, Castle, and Llandudno. I say it wrong though. People tell me off saying it wrong, but
Full throttle, brakes release. Here we go.
that's going to be quite loud, I think, in the chat. I think as it says now, that's not too bad.
If somebody give a heading for that, because I don't have a flight plan.
080.
Making speed, go on.
That's a lot of hawks.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I'm running at 10 o'clock with scattered clouds. It looks beautiful.
Steve, what time weather preset are you running?
Quite a sight. How's the sound levels, guys? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for clear
all good,
skies.
mate. People keep on disappearing in clouds.
What are you going to be using as a cruising height, guys?
3,500, I think it was on the plan.
Okay, thank you.
I need to turn my butt kicker down the tight turns there, giving me some entertainment.
Madness, that Hawks are here.
This is
I will
amazing.
try with it one day. I promise. I will.
We need to do this more often.
Absolutely. I wish we could do it every week. Really.
Chris, we'll take them over New Zealand.
Yeah.
Say again. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
We'll take it over New Zealand.
Yeah, the scenery is absolutely beautiful over New Zealand.
That's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to just adjust my.
A bit muggy up here.
Yeah, we're right at the bases for scattered.
Welcome to the UK.
Yes.
Are you running live weather or?
No. I
We should
put
mention that.
scattered
I'd recommend
clouds.
scattered preset. Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks.
Because it's just been raining constantly in Wales now for about 50 years. So.
That's why I say green.
Then that's accurate.
I'm going towards the bridge and do my Sparky move.
Wow, I'm really far behind here. Oh, it's great. So again, if anyone's just joined on the stream, we're very privileged to actually be flying with Martin today, who's one of the lead coders on the Just Flight Hawk, which we're flying today. And I think it's been out probably a week from tomorrow. And already there's going to be an update released very soon for it. And
Excited.
I don't think I've heard anybody say a bad word about it, and for good reason.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm currently flying. I think I'm running formation right now. I'm not sure how I managed that. I'm currently fitted with the drop tanks, which is one of the new features that will be coming in version 1.1. So I saw quite a few people wanting to fly this aircraft longer distance. Although the RAF or T1 was never plumbed in with the drop tanks, the export ones, like the regular Finnish ones, were. So it's not entirely unrealistic, and it gives you a significant amount more range as well.
Because it's a thirsty jet, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But each drop tank is, I think, 100 imperial gallon. So it's pretty.
So the only issue I get with the plane is a little bit sort of difficult to trim out, in terms of like to do level flight, without cheating to use the autopilot. Is there any sort of like updates on that, in terms of, does anybody else find that there's a bit of it's a bit finickety getting it to, level out?
There will be various flight units.
I'm using my Honeycomb Bravo trim wheel, and I do have to scroll a lot before it starts, but that's with every plane, not just this one.
Yeah, I'm just using the HOTAC and the Thrustmaster, but just one little tap seems to kind of like, it's always either over-correcting or under-correcting, and it's just always kind of like balancing it out, but it might well be me that's more the issue there.
I mean, we involved a couple of real autopilots in the testing, but it's always a compromise. The challenge, I think, with this especially is because it's quite a high-speed jet, trying to get the trim behaviour at low speed and high speed is quite a challenge with the sims here at the moment. So that can be a bit of course. But yeah, we're certainly continuing to tweak the flight dynamics with the help of our real autopilots. Yeah, there's always an element of compromise, unfortunately.
No, it wasn't a criticism, it's just I was wondering if there was a secret to it in terms of...
I don't think so. I think it sounds like using it correctly. I mean, I've got a Thrustmaster or Airbus stick. I have a couple of buttons on that side of the trim. It works sort of okay for me, but more pitch changes, the airspeeds we're flying at here, can equate to quite large PSI swings. So yeah, it certainly can be a bit of a challenge. The other thing to make use of course, is the autopilot. So if you engage that without any other mode engaged, it's pitch and bank hold. And I find that's quite useful, especially for sort of VFR flights. Quickly engage that, take your hands off, and it will sort of, much like an Airbus, sort of trim the pitch and bank.
I really do like actually how you've added the autopilot feature, because it's probably a bit of a cause for controversy for some people, but I think actually it's a really good concession for the sim, particularly if you want to use it, for sort of more longer flights. I think it works really well actually.
Yeah, well, we all.
The rear view mirrors work.
Second.
Can anyone tell me?
Compromise it, because it's the key thing for us is we're not going to put a switch in the actual virtual cockpit. It's not the real aircraft, it's physical.
Yes, that makes sense.
There. But in terms of the EFB options, ultimately you can ignore it, you can turn it off. So I don't really feel like it's too much compromise on rears in that regard. And I think most simmers at some point or another may use that autopilot, which I certainly do when it comes to testing.
It's one thing I do wonder, because obviously the Red Arrows, they do a lot of transits, particularly when they went to America and all around the world. They obviously don't have an autopilot, I presume they don't, and they fly in formation a lot of the time as well, in like a loose formation. I can imagine that being very, very tiring.
They also don't have drop tanks, so I think I read somewhere that on the trip to the Middle East, it's something like to Asia, it's about 35 stops on the way.
That's a lot.
35.
Wow, amazing.
You think if the RAF had paid to get the drop tanks plumbed in, like the export ones, that would have saved them a lot of stops, but it's really late.
Money. It's all down to money, isn't it? I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you notice that in the back, the back seat instructor didn't have a very great Sheffield VHF radio, and various things like that, which is the RAF model very much on budget. A lot of export ones will have
British Aerospace Sierra, Papa Alpha Romeo Kilo
things like that, but of course, it's primarily designed for training, so you don't really need a lot of that stuff.
I might actually use the autopilot now, so I can get some good views of you guys. Nav mode, actually. So yeah, there you are.
Full throttle speed?
No, actually,
No.
I was about to say, in terms of speed, I was going to be around 350, 400 knots for the time being, because I wanted to just obviously conserve fuel, because like you say, you should just drink a bit. But I'm currently heading to our next stop, which should be Blackpool, although my flight plan is being a bit dodgy. It's not always showing on the screen, but I know roughly where I'm about supposed to be.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, same
here.
Basically, I mean, I can call out waypoints if that's easier. You can use the GPS. I'm heading to Echo Golf November Hotel next, and then following the coast round to Blackpool Tower. That's where I'm going next. I reckon I might be right.
Thanks, Papa. Close the door.
Yeah, once in the mountains, it's a natural way of going through the valley.
Yeah, we're heading to the to Lake Windermere, and we'll head to sort of Thirlmere and then over to Ullswater. I'm having a bit of a play in those hills because they're absolutely beautiful. It's kind of stomping ground for the Hawks. In fact, I remember once, not long ago, me and Melissa, we were sat next to this lake in somewhere in Lake District, I can't remember where it was now, and we saw two Hawks, T1 Hawks from RAF Valley just scoot really low down and went right up. It was just an amazing moment, and you often see them around those parts, so I thought it'd be quite an apt place to bring the Just Flight version. I've no idea how many people. It seems we've got loads of people on this stream. It's great to see everybody. Just in fact, how many people are flying the Hawk? I did see a lot.
I'm gonna try to count from the back. I'll let you know what I come up with.
You need to slow down, Steve, so you can see what's going on.
Am I the one in the front here? I think I am.
Yeah,
Am I going too fast?
Too fast.
Yeah, I think I'm also most in the front.
Yeah, you've just shown up, Steve, in front with Sim Pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger that. Well,
So
to
there's
my sort of 1 o'clock, that's Liverpool, and then I'm just going to head up the coast to Blackpool, which is actually Asobe did a really good job of that point of interest. Once I get there, I'll just circle that area and kind of wait.
There you are.
You can catch up.
I counted 20 back here, but I don't think I can see the other half of the group.
Wow, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
The limit is 50, yeah.
Jose might think he's in France when he sees the Blackpool Tower.
Okay, Steve, I'm on your 6.
Are you? Where?
Oh, now you disappeared. Up high.
Oh. Can't see you now.
Yeah, that's...
I can't see you because you're that close to me, knowing you. I know, but you're alive.
Can I cast a shadow with the hawk? I don't know.
Yes, you know, I'll never forget that. When the Just Flight Turbo Arrow was first released, we did a community flight, and Sven was in formation with me, and he blocked the sun, and my cockpit, and I was in VR at the time, went all dark with the shadow, and it made me jump. It actually made me jump. That was amazing.
See you again.
How many people are flying in VR here? Because
I've just come out.
Not very
I've
good.
come out of VR and got into 2D mode.
I think I'm on your 6th with F-14.
F-14?
Is that you, Willie?
Ooh, that's the fastest one of the bunch.
Willie. I'm gonna form up on you, Willie. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, I'm kind of 350 knots. Yeah, basically following this coast.
Just clock the Blackpool Tower.
I'm taking left,
Yeah.
go around, going back up.
Willie, are
anyone-
your wings open or closed on the 14th?
They will close automatically at higher speed. I should be open now. I'm only pushing, like 380 on the
Okay,
turn,
yeah,
357.
cool. Yeah, that's what I see. Awesome.
So Martin, I was going to ask, how do you even go about, you have a sort of conversation, think, right, we want to make a Hawk. Then what happens after that? It must be such a complex process of knowing how to formulate the ideas even before you put pen to paper, or in this case maybe pointer onto screen to start creating this thing. How do you go about it?
The first step is getting the research in place, ideally, to see the real aircraft. So we went down to Boston Down to see the Hawk. Went to Glasgow, the 146. And again, before lockdown, I flew over to the museum at Toulouse to see the A300. So we'll travel kind of within Europe and try and find a real aircraft. The Fokker F-28, we went to the Fokker Technical College in the Netherlands to see the real one there.
Hey, Papa.
So that's
You
the
ate
key
some
part.
yummy snacks?
For our in-house aircraft, we usually kind of set that requirement a bit next. That allows us then obviously to get a huge amount of photos and audio recordings. And that's kind of starting point in the modelling the visuals of the first job. So my colleague Mark will spend about 20 months doing all the visuals.
How long? 18 months?
Yeah, so 146
Wow.
will take 18 months. Partway through that, then I'll jump in and start doing the sounds and flight plans guys will get involved.
You see, this is great to hear because I don't think people appreciate how long it takes to create something like this, and this is just really interesting to know. Sort of in terms of timescales as well. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realise.
Yes, it's a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, the kind of accuracy that people expect now is massive. Sort of aircraft is kind of a one-to-one real thing. And systems-wise, again, for our in-house aircraft, I'll sit down with the real manual in case of this and just code exactly as per the manual. Very, very rarely now do we have something in parts and this kind of opening maintenance hatches, things like that. But apart from that, so very much as per the manual. So again, that reference material is also critical. The real manuals, the real performance information, and of course pilots and engineers getting involved. So I don't even know Tim Davies' fast jet performance.
Dropping truth bombs.
Is that him on this?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't nearly crash then. I tried to do a leap and it went wrong. I was too busy listening to you.
He must be a character
Yes.
to work with.
Yes, he's brilliant. Obviously, being an instructor, I mean, has he had any influence on this Hawk at all? Has he been or has he ever had to? Yeah.
So he was involved. He gave some input on the original P3D1 X-Plane and this. And I think the other guy, I think he's known as CG Aviator, was he? Who's done like the aerobatic tutorial and a few of the tutorials on YouTube. He's also contributed. And engineers, so not just pilots. So my dad, for example, was so yeah, it's very useful.
Excellent.
My flight plan reappeared, so I'm happy.
Yeah, mine's just done the same. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's appeared. I did a loop, almost crashed into the sea, and then my flight plan's back, so there you are.
Does anyone know why you get sirens when you idle the throttles?
No, so
your gears up?
What you're doing, if depending on, make sure you haven't got anything assigned to the APU, because I know some people with their throttle assigned, when they bring it back to idle, it's triggering the start relight button on the throttle, and that then takes its generator offline automatically. So if you have a look at your CWP panel, when you get the alarm, just check if you're getting the electrical warning lights, generator and AC.
Yep, all of those are on.
Yes,
all of them.
Generator trip offline. That should only happen if the car relight button is pressed. That can be slightly to check up on that side somewhere. You should be doing more. But yeah, that actual functionality is as per the relay aircraft. The engine-driven DC generator will trip offline, and you have to reset it using the DC reset button.
Cool, thanks.
Which is another one of those strange quirks of the aircraft.
And it's all modelled in this, and that's what I love.
Yeah, that's good fun doing it works, although it does catch people out, including developers and investors. GTS system and making sure you've got the start master back turned on.
What's the prerequisite for smoke?
Say again, sorry?
What's the prerequisite for smoke to work?
So you have to have the red arrows variant enabled on the EFB, and then you should have a smoke master switch on the left instrument panel. You switch that on, and then you can either use the red, white, and the blue indicator lights in the coning, or you can actually use joystick controls as well to enable each of the colours. It should come on then.
Got it, thanks. It was the FB red arrows config. Thank you.
Yeah, because that's that enables the smoke in the diesel tank instead.
Now, just to let you know, you're coming up to Lake Windermere, which is, I think, the largest or longest lake, I think.
I'm over it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go nice and low and do a bit of a fly past with some smoke on.
Well, we don't see each other smoke though, or do we?
Yes, I can see smoke.
Ah, yeah, yourself, but not the other ones who have it on.
So at the moment, if you turn on your smoke, you should see everyone else with smoke. That's one of the limitations of multiplayer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it shares various settings between all the aircraft. So we're working as well to try and see if we can get around that.
I'd settle for being able to see all the other planes.
I know.
Yeah, they disappear and appear all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of that, it depends
I think
on
there's two groups.
Yeah. Come on, Jason.
Wait, to do with your bandwidth and all that business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
basically.
but groups are limited to 6 because I fly in Thunderbird's team and we've had to abandon flight sim for DCS for the last 3 months.
All right.
We used to
Definitely got worse.
wingtip, and now we can't even see each other half the time.
Are you like part of the Thunderbirds, like virtual display team? Then are you?
Yeah, but it doesn't work since SU5, so
It's a shame.
we're hoping.
Anyone who can do virtual displays is just, I find that absolutely like the Red Arrows virtual display team. They're just amazing, aren't they? How on earth can you fly like that? You know, it must take the same skills, you know, as flying in VR. I think so, absolutely. I think VR makes it a lot easier. I think most of them fly in VR now because obviously you get that situational awareness, but still, very difficult, very difficult.
I think any VR flying likes to start with real life in my experience. Flying out A28s or 152 flights is harder than real life in many ways, I think.
Yes, definitely. So you're your PPL holder as well then?
Yeah, so I started learning when I was about 18 or 19.
Alright, so
Everybody's gone.
I'm entering the lake now, I think. The approach end over here, low level.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
I passed it already. I'm coming back.
I'll keep my smoke on. I think I'm the leader at the moment. I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, hang on, someone's gone past
No,
me.
I passed the lake already. I'm coming back.
Yeah, there's like 20 of us back here, and there's like, I think like 10 or 15 up there.
Well, there's a very famous ridge called Helvellyn, and I might just go, basically that's where this kind of flight plan goes and then heads back round in itself, so I'm just going to head into this valley here before heading back round.
Yeah, I'm coming head to head.
That's the one. I nearly fell off Striding Edge when I was about 15, so yeah, that one. Very close.
You zoom, eh?
Yeah, amazing scenery.
How many text, Steve?
No, this is...
Say again, sorry, missed it.
Just telling me to overtake.
Are you?
Okay. I'm back into the group.
Oh, Sven, what happened? You crashed?
No, I came back because I'm too fast.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
I was already at the end.
Because I haven't got the Hawk yet. Everybody's just flying around in commercial jets.
Yeah.
You know, A20s and that sort of thing.
So I am behind Smithy 1238, and I see Simpilot 320 on the climb vertical.
But this is the Lake District, beautiful place. Recommend if you've never been here. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it is lovely.
And now,
spend every weekend sailing on that lake as a young man.
And I have to take a hard ride.
Yeah, hard right, but I'm just prolonging that a bit. But
I just go around the mountain. It's the same. It's nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you went over the hill.
You've done this route about 10 times already, haven't you?
No, once with the flight plan, 10 times without.
Roger that. I was going to say, Martin. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know where the route is. Am I following you, Steve? I see you turning now?
Yeah, he's doing the right route.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're just about to kind of go over Ullswater, which is another beautiful area I'd recommend visiting. And then we're going to start heading
back
south again. Yeah, basically to sort of over Yorkshire. The Yorkshire Moors, a little bit of that, and then heading over the Lady Bower Reservoir.
You into Bradford?
Tell you what, it's just as well I got the damage turned off on this Learjet, it would have blown up ages ago.
I was going to ask actually, the guy in the Learjet, how are you getting on?
I'm alright, I'm sneaking along and it's popping up to 400. Sorry, the citation.
That's
the
not
citation.
Bad.
But it's in the red. I'm sure in the real world it would have blown up by now. It's the only way I'm going to keep up with you guys.
Yeah, if you do crash the Hawk, Martin? Is that something that will be fixed if you do crash the Hawk? All systems are off. The electronics and hydraulics are finished. You really have to restart.
Go home.
Yeah.
Just say, Paul said in the chat. Paul said in the chat, thank you so much for this amazing aircraft, truly up to a new standard that we expect from Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I think, we can all sort of appreciate what they've done here with this.
I'm going to be getting mine the beginning of next week when I get paid.
Well, you convinced me to pick it up, so done deal.
Yeah.
Actually, Sven, it should be if you crash it, you've got to buy it again.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and I get
everyone's going to be really careful.
And I get a €2 discount because I bought the first one. That's nice.
We are tempted to.
Well, Sven,
quite interesting to see that I'm actually struggling to keep up with you guys because I've got the drop tanks fitted amongst the extra weight.
Yeah, I noticed. Is that something new for the version 1.1, Martin? That I feel like I'm a bit slower than I normally am. It's with the drop tank.
If you've got drop tanks, then yes, because you'll have the extra weight. So
excellent.
Oh, you're flying the new one already? Oh.
Yes.
I am. Yes.
Cheating.
Yeah, I was testing out. I was doing a few. I've been flying in the Pimax all morning. Funny enough, over RF Valley testing the 1.1 out, and yeah, it should be out soon. I think, Martin, is that correct?
Yeah, so it's doing a few more bits. And the thing we do as well is we stimulate some of the drop tanks. It's the weight of the actual pylon, the weight of the drop tank itself, and the weight of the fuel it carries. So you add all those up, and you can see the weight difference in the FB, and you know, that all adds to the next weight and performance. So yeah, every you know, missile or bomb you carry comes with a kind of weight penalty out of the pylons.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing for something you can use at home. What is this? This must be what, like it was for commercial pilots 5 years ago, 4 years ago. You know, the flight.
Yeah.
Obviously, you haven't got the motion sensors that you have in the commercial flight simulators, but the actual view.
Probably not even. Yeah, I think the views on commercial sims aren't
No.
that great, are they? They don't
It's
really
more going through the process, isn't it? I think. But, bloody amazing. As I say, I only got my G2 last week, and it's just blown me away. Actually.
Okay, for the ones who check your fuel now, because I already had to add some more, and I was full.
Hold on. I don't know where the fuel gauge is, so I'm gonna have to pull up my menu.
I don't see any refueling planes in the sky, so.
Hey, Phil, I was about to ask Phil as well, because Phil's here from Authenticate. I'm sure you've heard me mention him a few times on the channel, and I think are you flying with your Spitfire? Yeah, control. I always say yoke. Fighter stick. How's it getting? How are you getting on with it? It's still in the air.
I spend more time building stuff and flying though.
Yes, I know you do.
Respawn over Windermere because that was doing a pretty dreadful job of keeping up. I'm getting there. I'm trying to just get alongside somebody because the idea of just flying out next to another wall. I haven't managed to see it. I think that was close.
Yeah, I did that this morning.
I discovered that they're like a 737 doing movie maneuvers.
Yeah,
all right. That motorway, is that the M6?
It is, absolutely.
It's
spot on.
M6, isn't it? Yeah.
It is indeed.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been up there.
Yeah, actually, the M6, there's part of the M6 that weirdly is quite enjoyable to ride because it kind of goes it's quite snaky around the. I can't think where it is now. Is that more sort of near Gretna Green?
No, we're not as far up as that, I don't think.
No, I don't mean here, but I mean further up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
For a motorway, it's that part anyway is all right. The rest of it's
yeah.
Some of these videos that people are knocking out nowadays, they actually look like proper documentary. At the moment.
Yes. What you mean, like some of these YouTubers? Yeah, I mean, amazing quality, absolutely.
Sometimes you don't realise you're not looking at the real thing.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
So Steve, which VR headset are you in?
I'm in 2D mode, actually, at the moment, because I decided... I know.
The non-VR flight sim guy.
He's having to host, and I can only imagine it's easier that way, right?
This is the first time I've done a live stream and not been in VR. Usually I use the Reverb G2 with that Windows Mixed Reality kind of portal as a way of looking in the chat and that kind of thing. But for this one, I thought I haven't done a live stream for a while. I thought I'm just going to keep things a little bit simpler. One less thing to go wrong. But I must admit, I'm suffering here, guys. I'm not, I really am. I'm suffering.
Have you tried doing
really weird?
2D? That's tricky.
Yes.
I was like, I needed to sort of like angle the view up because I kept missing the points of reference, for the turns and stuff.
Yeah, it's just
spectacular. They look spectacular upside down.
It does look better upside down.
What it does look way better. So once you have VR in the sometimes not you see the Steam got the option now you have the EFB either on the electricity whereas before or mounted sort of right on console.
Yeah. How do you move it there?
So if you click on the sort of bezel around the EFB tab, you should have a little click spot there.
Oh yes, look at that. Oh wow.
And
I didn't know that was on this update. That's amazing.
Yeah, and if you click reapply click on the control button, it now jumps you automatically to the rear seat or front seat, and takes the EFB with you as well. So you can operate the EFB out of the private seat.
Can you hear this, guys? Literally, it hasn't even been out a week yet, and they've already implemented that. That is amazing. Fantastic.
The benefits of all the forums and YouTube videos we have now means that we get feedback.
Yes.
And great feedback as well.
It's quite funny, because without bragging, the aero, I was the only YouTuber that actually didn't find it a problem on the pilot seat because I can see it really well with the aero because of the sweet spot. So I didn't think it was a problem. And then I tried it in the Pimax and thought, oh my god, I really have to crane my neck to look at the tablet. And then I understood then because Drew Balgioed, his video, he mentioned it, and I thought, do you know what? I didn't even think twice about that being a problem, and then I understood afterwards.
Well, as an oversized gentleman with a large chin, it's slightly inconvenient for the G2 sweet spot.
It started off on the EFB was on the right console in development, and then we kind of moved it to the ejector seat to kind of move it out of the way of any other controls. But of course, I developed 99.9% of the time in 2D. So of course, it's only when you jump in VR or have experienced VR users fly it and they pull the stuff out. So it's why we're trying to get kind of a good range of testers on board. But there's always going to be stuff that we get feedback on post-release that we can act on pretty quickly. VR's always been one of those things. That we just tend to tweak it afterwards.
In terms of the GPS, which I'm really annoyed that I didn't mention it in my preview, I didn't even realise it was so well coded. So apologies for that. But I was like afterwards, I thought, oh my goodness me, the GPS system is fully fledged.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. It's actually default.
Is it really? Oh.
Yeah, we've got we call it the Aero GPS. It's the only one or two illegal aircraft, and a few people have asked why it's gone from vertical to horizontal position. Part of that's because in Sim Update 6 they sort of very manually changed that GPS orientation. So,
right.
But this is actually one of the configurations of passenger aircraft.
I think I prefer it this way. You've just got that slightly more visibility, I think.
Because otherwise it was really in the way.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I don't know if we are really, cracking on with this flight plan. So if anyone, if you fancy, we could land at Leeds Bradford if you want to,
Steve,
just so you can refuel.
Steve, I have a suggestion. I think we could try and kind of line up and achieve some sort of formation. I've been trying to pull alongside people, and wow, I've got so much respect for these formation flyers.
It is hard.
Yeah. Slightly up and then disappear into the distance. Do you think we could, a few of us could try and just line up and hold some sort of formation?
We're just passing Leeds Bradford. So if people want to just have if they want to land quickly and maybe refuel, and some people, if you want to use that area as a bit of a testing ground for formation flying, feel free. Maybe that might be a good idea.
What's your tail name? I'll look for you.
Spit 40.
Obviously, I want to keep an eye on time as well, but I think we're doing all right here. So I think we have a quick landing at Leeds Bradford, and then maybe.
I'm right at your 6. Show me the way.
Which one's Leeds Bradford? Is that EDNM?
Yes, Echo Golf November Mike. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cheers, Lee.
I see it.
Luckily, I've still got a ton of fuel thanks to my dot
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm doing all right as well.
Yeah.
But I really feel the extra weight, which is brilliant.
And if you look at the real-world manual, you'll notice that the RAF one mentions that when you have the sidewinders and pylon speeds, the approach speed is 5 to 10 knots greater, and it mentions that the controls are much more sluggish and you've got to be very careful around stalls. So you notice with these drop tanks, especially if you've got a full load of fuel, that if you come to a circuit, you've really got to keep on top of the speed. And if you're on the back of the drag curve, you'll start to really struggle. But I don't know if anyone's noticed, but you can actually jettison your record and drop tanks as well.
I noticed that yesterday. Fantastic.
So if you do get
that on the fly when you're flying along?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you need to do a circuit land again, I have to take out the drop tanks or anything, just jettison them before you land. It's probably a good idea. It's not too bad once they're empty, but when they're both 100 gallons in each,
What's that? 100? Yeah, 100 gallons. 1,000? Is that 1,000 pounds? 100 gallons? How much does a gallon of fuel? A gallon of fuel weighs 10 pounds, doesn't it? Does a gallon of petrol weigh 10 pounds? I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I'm going to blame my terrible leap over the Black Ball Tower on the fact that you changed the physics. So, because it felt so much sluggish. It felt really sluggish. I thought last time I did a loop, I'm sure it felt more sprightly than that. So that, yeah, I have to make sure I take that into consideration.
Going to have much narrower angle attack to keep the climb speed up. So yeah, it feels a bit more pedestrian.
I'm going to go for a bit of a landing here at Leeds Bradford in 2D mode, which is going to be painful. And if any of you guys want to have a quick 5 minutes trying to see if you can do some formation flying, I might see if I can get some video footage of it.
Yeah. What's the identifier for that airport, Steve?
Yeah, Echo Golf November Mike.
Yeah, and I just got cleared for runway 32, so watch out.
Oh no, ends about, look out.
I see it. Yeah, there's a bunch of us south over
So
here.
notice, Martin, that you've included, obviously from the beta that I used, is the sort of the pilot straining under G, which I really love that. What a nice little touch.
Yeah, so we didn't have that in until very late. I just just watching some videos. I thought that sort of be a nice feature, and also one of those little features no one everybody notices, but the oxygen consumption, as you can see by the oxygen flow indicator, actually increases with G load, so they'll breathe quicker with G load.
That's excellent. I love that. It's those little details that make everything.
I haven't seen much in the way of smoke, Steve.
Well, I've decided not to use too much because there's so many of us. I think it's tanking frame rate a little bit, so I'm going to keep mine off a little bit.
I love the rear view mirrors and the way they work.
Yeah, it's like they really work. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe adding is the little around, so you can tilt them up and down. Right. That might be features, yeah.
Oh, someone's in trouble, and that was a terrible landing. Terrible landing.
That's 2D for you.
The airport.
Honestly, I can't land in 2D anymore. It's really difficult. You just don't know where you are. Never mind.
You can blame the tanks, isn't it?
Yeah, I will. I'll keep doing that.
Having recently gone from 2D to 3D, it's bloody amazing. In 3D, it's just so much easier.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow, this is great. See so many hawks there.
I think Willie just crashed, no?
I did.
That was a place plant in a building.
Came in too far, tried to correct them like
it's on video, sorry.
Hey.
Are you like that as well, or?
Yeah, I'm streaming also.
Oh, sweet, brilliant.
But the VR eyes, no, to the professional, like. Okay, full flaps, wheels down, I'm coming in.
Alright, I'm on
fact,
fire
while we're here, I'm going to plug a couple of YouTubers that I've got massive respect for. First of all, Sven.
I'm a little guy.
Make sure you sub to his channel. I'll put these links in the description below after I've finished. And the VR Pilot, absolutely subscribe to his channel. I'm probably guessing most of you have anyway, because I think we're very a close community anyway. But yeah, please do subscribe to him because yeah, I love your content. I really do. Very different from a lot of YouTubers. Very down to earth. And of course, 320 Sim Pilot as well, who's with us today. Absolute honour to have you here.
I just made a perfect landing. Haha.
Can we do this again soon?
Do it after this if you want. Yeah, that's one thing I can't stand. The sort of when you stop or the engine quits, the menu comes up and the freeway menu.
And they changed it to 2D, so you can't look behind it.
Right, I'm going to get the drone out a little bit now, and I'm going to have a look at some of your guys. If anyone wants to do any formation flying, or
oh, you're floating in the air.
Yeah, I'm just using the drone now.
Alright, I'm doing a low approach. And then I'll be back.
Oh, there it is. I can see it. There we are. Right.
Okay, I'll open my canopy.
What's your airspeed on the Hawk? General.
Final approach.
And if I open my canopy, everybody's canopy open. That's a sim issue.
Hey, that's
I'm
a
not
question,
sure the
Martin.
official figures are, but I kind of like about 100 knots on there.
120,
sort of,
I believe. The threshold.
That explains my horrendous landing then.
Yeah, it's not 60, I can tell you that much.
What, for landing? I think the manual says 135.
135, yeah, that's...
Oh, it's much quicker than
I
I
saw that.
Right, if anyone wants to do any shenanigans, I've got a perfect drone shot right here.
I'm gonna switch to 2D for a nice 4K screenshot.
What's our next airport we're going to land at?
Well, after this, we'll probably head towards Lady Bower, which is a very famous reservoir that the Lancasters used to use to practice as part of their dam buster raids. I thought that would be quite a nice sort of...
Viking country as well, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yes it is, yeah. You'll go over Snake Pass and yeah, it's beautiful. I was going to go today actually, but I just didn't have enough time. But yeah, I often go. Buzz around there on the bike a little bit. Oh wow, that was good. Whoever just shot past my drone then, that was impressive.
And now the little arrow and the little arrow key is gone in the top of the screen, so you can make nice screenshots.
Yeah, fine.
I've noticed how the drone still doesn't stay sort of horizontal, you know, doesn't stay center, level rather, to the horizon, for me anyway, when I'm moving around.
Come on, Chris, what are you doing?
There it is.
Look at this. This is
epic.
Absolutely, what a scene! Amazing.
I've just crashed. What's the name of that airport again? State?
Leeds.
Leeds Bradford.
EG.
Echo Golf November. Yeah, sorry.
Echo Golf November.
Who's this guy in the airliner that he's thinking, what is going on here? I need to get out of here.
Oh, I think he's the F-22 guy.
Is he?
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
That's the one. The only one I don't have. The Top Gun one.
So
I do.
imagine. You got home from work, you just want a quiet flight in your airliner, and then a load of hawks just descend from everywhere. Look at this, look, brilliant.
Beautiful.
Martin, of interest, how did you get access to a real Hawk T1 when modelling this? What was the process?
Great question.
So yeah, this one was down at Boscombe Down, so it wasn't an in-service Hawk T1. But it depends. We do have quite a few contacts in the military, so people we've worked with for years, so they got us onto the Royal Squadron to see the 146 that the Queen used to use. We've seen TriStars, VC-10s, C-130s, C-17s all in service. So yeah, it's kind of who you know, as usual. Yeah, knowing people in the forces.
Have you ever got to fly in one? Would it ever be possible?
If only, yeah, no. I'll wait for my invite if anyone knows anyone, but no, I've never had the luxury of that.
I've just got a couple of questions in chat. Feel free not to, you know, if you can't answer them, that's absolutely fine. There's no pressure. Keith has said in chat, is it possible for the Just Flight team to sort of, you know, kind of just say how popular it's been, the Hawk, in this week? Has it been a really good, you know, popular aircraft that people have purchased? Has it been a, you know, a very positive? Well, we know it's been a positive
sales
success.
numbers. We need sales numbers.
no, not sales. I don't think that, no, as such. But you know, are you happy with how things are going in terms of Microsoft Flight Simulator sales and things? Everything going really well.
The Microsoft Flight Sim market is very good compared to P3D and X-Plane. It's definitely kind of the go-to sim at the moment in terms of sales performance for sure. But yeah, the Hawk's done very well, and the feedback. Yeah, I think we couldn't ask for more really. I think it's been probably our best ever release. I think in terms of feedback.
Yeah, better than any of the Pipers.
I mean, comparable. The difference with the Pipers being our first aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim, the SDK was a bit more. A bit less fleshed out at the time, and we were still learning how to use the sim. So I think we've had 9 updates to our PA28s. So we've had a lot of learning to do with Microsoft Flight Sim. Although we're very experienced with P3D, there's new ways of doing things, so we can achieve a lot more in Microsoft Flight Sim. So it's definitely been a learning curve. So I think that's allowed us, like day one, the Hawk was a better product than the PA-28. But after a mere 9 updates, I think the PA-28's are very, very solid too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been very lucky to fly in a Piper Arrow quite a number of times and land one, and I was quite taken back when I flew that for the first time in VR. I was like, this. I just feel like I'm back there. I could even almost smell the smells. That particular sort of classic, I guess, old bus smell they have. It all came back to me. Amazing.
The PA-28 and GE aircraft in general is that they're based on aircraft from my actual flying club in real life. So that obviously gives me
that makes sense.
Much better access, and it's sort of 10 minutes down the road, so that helps a lot. So the Warrior, the Arrow, the 152, Duchess, they're all aircraft from my flying club. And they are based exactly 100%. So yeah, you sit in the real thing, and it's every scratch and sticker is exactly like the real thing. Hence why it's so sort of worn and torn with sort of 30 years of abuse by student pilots.
I love that. Yeah, I much prefer that over a clean and clinical aircraft personally. But
yeah, that's one of those very sort of personal things. You've got the wear and tear. So we did actually include an option for a clean cockpit as well. Not too clean, and you'll notice that the footwell of the PA-28's got kind of grass from the airfields scattered out, just like the real thing. The lovely red velour seats, very tasteful, 70s. But yeah, no, it's exactly like the real thing, and that's a key part of what we do. Same with this Hawk, is we find a real aircraft and base it 100% on that, and it just makes it more sort of unique, I think, more believable.
Yeah, the stock aircraft are way too clean.
They are.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to us. We like dirty, worn and torn aircraft, because that's our kind of personal taste in-house. Hence why we like some of these sort of classic military jets, and the things like the Vulcan as well, of course.
The Vulcan. The Vulcan.
Well,
I'm not going to ask it to Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I hope at some point you're able to do that. But yeah, beautiful.
We've done early work on quite a few things. So we've done early work on the Vulcan, the Tornado.
Fantastic.
We can't line these things, but I mean, really, ultimately, our plan has always been to bring as much of our past products into this from the in-house team as possible. So yeah, I would love to see a Tornado in here, Vulcan.
Definitely. So everyone's very happy now you've said that. We're all like little kids again. Like, oh yes, please.
I have to mention, certainly like the GR1 is sort of quite a natural hiding for it, I think, sort of low level.
I used to see them, over my house all the time, and it pains me now that I just don't see them anymore. I just miss them so much. They've got such a character that the more modern jets don't. But
I did the coding for the I did a fair bit of coding on the GR1, and a colleague did the F3, and what I came away from GR1 development thinking is so over-engineered, and it's a kind of a proper kind of mini little airliner with its own APU, so much redundancy. It's incredibly capable. I mean, like the Autopilot, it's kind of an airliner in a small package, really. So it's great fun.
Another guy in the chat's asked if the EFB could possibly be, used in X-Plane at some point in the Hawk. Although, do you have one? I'm not sure if you actually that's implemented.
There wouldn't be one in the Hawk and X-Plane, no. So different development teams. We have our Thrander team do the X-Plane one, and this EFB is very much kind of Microsoft Flight Sim specific. It uses technology from this sim. But yeah,
you were the first people to do it. You were the first people to put an EFB in an aircraft like this. Yeah, it's. I think probably because I'd come off doing the 146 for Prepared into doing the Arrow for Microsoft Flight Sim, and I put an EFB in the 146 because it's kind of expected. So I suppose it was just in my mind. I was used to having that EFB there for options, and the other reason is. Whereas traditionally we used 2D panels in P3D for various functions, they aren't really an option in Microsoft Flight Sim.
So I had to find a new way of giving you access to those options. It would have been on the 2D panel, and I think the EFB is better anyway.
Honestly, I wondered whether we wouldn't see this for a long time, after the release of the sim, because, initial aircraft, general aviation aircraft, it just wasn't even a thing. So I was wondering how you guys were going to do it, but that's when obviously when the Piper came out, the first one, not the Arrow, what was the first one you did, the first Piper, when it had the EFB.
Arrow 3. And
oh yes, that's it. Yeah.
Turbo, and then the Warrior. Yeah.
I was just like, yes, they've managed to do it somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
we bought them all.
I didn't start seriously looking at developing SDK till earlier this year because I've been busy with 146, and by the time I came to the SDK earlier this year, it wasn't so bad, and they've done a lot more since then. And they're very responsive as Obo. They're a good team to work with.
They certainly keep you busy, don't they? I mean, I just can't believe the amount you're churning out. But not only that, the quality's still there. That's what I don't know how you do that. You must have. Do you have quite a big team at Just Flight working on this, or is it just?
We are quite lucky that we're one of the few developers, I think, that we're kind of a formal company. I don't know how to say it really, but we're full-time, employees. I think there's probably maybe 16 of us now, something like that. But also we work with many developers that aren't employees. But we working full time is a big difference compared to a lot of other developers who maybe do this in their spare time alongside their day job. So
do you enjoy it? You must love it. In many ways it must be a dream job, but also extremely hard as well and very frustrating at times.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. I love this job. I mean, I joined Just Flight when I was 18, so I was a Just Flight customer.
Oh wow! Really? That's incredible.
So you made your hobby a job.
Yeah, well, I'm 33, so it's been a while. So, I didn't realise. I've been a customer for years. I didn't realise they're only 10 miles down the road from where I live. So when I was 18, and I was waiting to go to the RAF for selection to be a pilot, and I got summer work with them. And unfortunately, it turned out my eyesight was. I went to Cranwell for selection, and my eyesight was borderline. And of course, they can be very fussy now. So the RAF didn't pan out. So I came back to Just Flight, and what's that now? 15 years later. I'm still here, so it must be good.
Their loss is our gain, without a doubt.
And I've got a great team here as well. I mean, my colleague Mark, who did the visuals on this, as you can see the visuals, he's absolutely amazing. We've got a great team at Just Flight.
There's something about the way you've done the textures on this. I can't quite put my finger on it, but when you look, especially from the outside view, it just feels so incredibly lifelike. I don't know what it is. Whether it just feels, even from the Pipers, it just feels just that bit different, like almost like it's been lifted out. Like feel like what in the sim. It's quite uncanny.
There's a great compliment. Quite different skill. You can see differences. It's that kind of mastery, combining photographic with artistry. So, some developers in the past, Crypt Tell they've lifted a real photo and sort of stuck it on the panel.
Yes, definitely.
And equally to drawing from scratch results, so try and combine the two. Hence why, you see labels in this aircraft that are, for all intents and purposes, exactly from the photo. Tear or anything like that. But there's a lot of work that goes into kind of making that look right. So, that's why when you find someone like Mark,
too right.
Yeah, definitely. But he actually founded his own games company 20, 30 years ago, back in the kind of early days, and he was involved in developing the original B-17 Flying Fortress game. A couple of others that people might have flown with. And the original Tornado ground attack format game, so he's very experienced and loves aviation, which is a big part of what we do, finding good books and the aviation passion.
Every time you say tornado, I get goosebumps.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. We had some Italian GR4s came into RAF Conisbee about a week ago, so I had to ride down there and just to see them take off and that rumble and that feeling you get in your stomach as they go a full afterburner. It's just a God, it's so
Can you give us a heading? What's our next destination? Are we just cruising? I've lost sight of you. I see Sven though.
We're heading to Lady Bower next, but the unfortunate thing is that's going to be tricky unless you have the flight plan.
I have the flight plan.
I'll take a vector.
Reservoir. Yeah. Hang on a second.
Or you follow me.
It's very close to if you head to Barton, like Echo Golf.
Nemo Echo.
I was going to say, can you see the red not Learjet, the Citation? I'm just doing a circuit around the airport now. I've got the sim up, the plan up. If you want to follow me.
Whereabouts is everybody? I haven't seen anybody for about 15 minutes.
Do we have a heading from the airport?
Hagen.
Yeah, you sort of
flying at the minute.
Yeah, you're just off south. You're heading sort of slightly off south. So what would that be? That would be
170 heading 150.
Most about 170.
Yeah, about 170.
My plan hasn't gone for some reason, but I'm basically heading to Manchester. If you head to Manchester Airport, you're going to be quite close by.
See Sven. Sven, are you going the right way?
Yeah, I'm loading my GTN now.
Okay, sweet. All right, you know what? That's right. What's the direct to? Give me the identifier if you can.
Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Is that Manchester?
That is, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, you can head there, and then you can follow me to Lady Barrack. It's not too far away from there.
Perfect.
That might be the easiest way to do it.
So next one is Lincoln Cathedral.
No, Lady Barrack. It's a very famous reservoir.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't show. It just shows custom.
It does, yeah. It just says custom, yeah.
I think we have to flag that at 60 feet altitude, don't we?
Yes, with some lights lighting them up. Amazing.
Martin, is the sound for the G-string maneuver from an actual pilot?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I would know that asking our sound artist, but based on what it sounds like, I strongly suspect he's based on real recording. Unless he's sitting there in his office trying to straighten.
I say I had this vision of him trying to do it with a microphone, like
When I first heard it, I thought it was someone sneezing.
Sneezing? Yeah, it's I suspect it's from a real recording. I have to check it. So, yeah, I can't imagine it sounding like driving.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, part of me wasn't sure about putting it in. It seemed like the kind of thing that might be some people, but it only comes on the quite high G. So
I think it's well balanced. It's a nice little feature.
Yeah, it's not too repetitive. There's a few different levels of it. I've noticed. It's almost like dynamic. If you pull more G's, it's different.
Sound system, lots of flight sims, you can affect the volume and intensity of something based on variables like so it's a lot more power. Hence why a lot of people commenting on how much more it sounds like when it's supposed to be cool. That's because this new sound system in Microsoft Flight Sim is just something about do things we can never achieve.
I didn't even realise that.
I'm above the reservoir, I think. Yep.
Is anyone lost? If anyone's lost, actually, a better place would be Echo Golf Hotel Victor as a sort of like holding pattern. If anyone's lost, go over there. If you go to Echo Golf Hotel Victor, if you put it as a direct to on the GPS, I can pick you up and follow you, and I can lead you into the reservoir. It's not too far away from there. That might be
we can with the keyboard on this GPS? Or no?
Yes, you can normally.
Yeah, you can. If you go to the top button, and then there's a direct to.
Echo Golf Hotel.
Yeah, Echo Golf Hotel Victor. And that's quite close by. And what I'll do is I'll circle that with the smoke on, and then hopefully if you can see me, I'll lead you in.
Also, have any of you heard the sonic boom of breaking Mac from the external view? That was a nice touch.
Oh, is that included in this? Is it?
Yeah, I find if you go to external view, dive, break Mac, and you hear a sonic boom.
Oh wow! You see, this is the thing. You know, you can have this aircraft for ages and still learn things about it. Brilliant! I didn't know that. Nice touch.
Yeah, we continue making tweaks like got a portrait here that I'm reading at the moment. So it's about sort of map 0.88, I think, and above you start to get quite strong buffeting, so we're probably going to increase that effect as well. So yeah, trying to get as much kind of reference as we can. But yeah, as usual, we're tweaking.
I don't know whether this is something intentional or not, Martin, but I noticed the other day when it was raining, which it always does in the UK, as you know, taking off, the rain effect was very realistic. You could really see it like over the canopy, kind of like, you know, in streaks. And I don't often see it as done as well as that in other aircraft. Was that just the physics of the canopy, or was that something you'd thought about before?
Possibly the shape of the canopy, but the luckily the sim itself provides very good effects back up in there.
Yeah.
So we might implement them, you know, fully and properly, which I don't know if other aircraft have done that or not. But yeah, that's nothing particularly custom other than the way we've applied the technique they give us. But things like that and icing, visually much better than visually, obviously. The icing's very overdone.
Yes. Just to say, guys, I'm now at Echo Golf Hotel Victor. I can stay here and circle for a bit until we're all back together again.
Yeah.
That helps.
Is the Hawk also coming to the official marketplace inside the sim for the other people?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's again, the plan is, you know, all of our products will end up in the marketplace at some point. It's a combination of making sure it's updated and we're happy with it before sending it to Microsoft, and then their approval process, which...
So it hasn't been sent to Microsoft yet without the weapons?
Yeah, it won't have the weapons on it.
No, unfortunately, no weapons, no gun sight. It's just a shame.
Quite strange, isn't it? That's a strange sort of thing to decide to do.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do, you know, the Top Gun DLC seems like a strange choice, but you can't do weapons.
Yes, exactly.
No Maverick Goose stuff.
Yeah.
The community will take care of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hope so. Watch the buying direct if you really want weapons.
Phil, are you within range now? Are you still lost?
Within range, Fox 2.
It's a bit ways off, really. I thought Echo Golf Hotel Victor's a better, because we were right close to Lady Bower from there.
If you're on the hand side, Steve.
He didn't sound far away in the chat. He sounded really far away.
I know what I'm doing.
I'm just passing Edinburgh now. I'm feeling a bit dizzy going in circles.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm following the flight plan, but I'll go back then, because I'm way in front now.
I'm looking out my left at the ground, waiting for a tank to roll out, so I can just...
these things. I don't know how to do the GPS. I always just do stuff with VLRs. Stuff, but I am looking at the VFR map.
Yeah, if you look...
Find Echo Golf Hotel Victor, and I'm over Manchester Airport.
Okay, if Echo Golf Charlie, obviously Manchester, if you go kind of like straight right from there, so if you just kind of like get your cursor and go east, and then you head, and then you'll be able to just see Echo Golf Hotel Victor. And actually, it's almost it's almost
090 heading.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Yeah, heading 090, and I'll go pick you up, Phil.
I'm at Redford.
For everybody else, if we just carry on to Lady Barrow now, if you want, because I'm obviously aware of time as well. I don't want to be too long with this flight. We're still going to get to Lincoln Cathedral yet, and just want to say again, thank you to Martin for, he's a busy man. This guy, he's a properly busy man. So to be able to come and join us for this,
Thanks,
really do appreciate it.
Put my 6-month-old daughter to bed before the stream, so.
Boys move.
Extra ice cream then in the morning.
Well, she had too much ice cream before bed, which was very good.
Oh, did she?
All part of the room, apparently.
So guys that just flight all have 39s to test the planes.
Yeah, I'll count me in.
Hey Phil, are you spit 40?
5900.
Sweet. Alright, perfect. You're heading the right way. I'm right beneath you down here.
Right, guys, I'm going to lead us into Lady Barra now. If you're behind me, I think you are. Yeah, you are. Look at this. What a sight that is. Fantastic. We're kind of going the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what, we'll do 2 passes, and by the time we come back, hopefully Phil will be on his way.
I'm flying back to you guys.
Phil, 10 o'clock low. You see me down there?
I think I see Lady Bower, that's one thing. 10 o'clock.
I'm like really low. You're at 16 grand. Push the nose over.
Whoa, way down. Okay.
11. I'm currently heading 090 and I'm turning north.
I wonder if this is what the red arrows sound like when they start doing their training.
Yeah.
How are you? Yeah, I'm over here. Yeah, alright. By the time they've finished, they're absolutely amazing.
Also, I'm bingo fuel. I'll see you back at the base.
Roger that. Well, we're about to go over the dam now. I think, is this... Yeah, actually, if anyone's got the Orbex points of interest, you'll have this.
Yeah, the dam. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of that. I think some people have moaned about it, but you know, come on, I think it's decent. And, you know, it doesn't. You don't have people on it or anything, but it's a landmark. It does its job.
Yeah, I see it now.
In fact, actually, looking at, I've just said that, but I think some SimDate 6 has made it a little bit. It's not quite in the right place. But never mind. I'm sure they'll sort that out. I'm just going to go back and go over flight again, and then we'll head back onto our route, because we're not too far away now from RAF Waddington. And then it'll be Lincoln Cathedral, very iconic Lincolnshire landmark, and then into RAF Scampton, which is where the RAF Red Arrows are currently based, but not for much longer, unfortunately. Oh, but you know, the way this thing flies, it feels very fluid to me. And actually, Martin, can you explain how you've done that? If you even give up.
That's an easy answer.
It's just because it's just code, isn't it? But especially with the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, the thing is, it's not blade element theory like it is in X-Plane. So there obviously is a table, a lookup table, but it doesn't feel like a lookup table. It feels fluid in the air.
I think we've got a guy that does our flight command is Paul. We've operated with for about 10 years. I think he's aged quite badly, I think, as a result of this project. You know, on the coding side and visual side, we're much happier working with Microsoft Flight Sim. But I think
I'm sure.
On the mechanic side, I think he's had the worst luck, I think.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of work's gone into it, a lot of fiddling and tweaking and speaking to the guys at Zobo, and it's definitely something. The one area of the sim that kind of really needs finessing. So I think the end result's really good. There's been a lot of work to get there. All credit to Paul on that.
And that is it, because, you know, I mean, it might sound controversial, but I do actually prefer X-Plane for its flight modelling. I really do. I think it's better for it. But when I compare your Piper Arrows and the Hawk, actually, no, that's a better example, actually. The Hawk, which I do have the X-Plane version of this aircraft, this flies better in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I don't know how that's possible where the X-Plane flight model just has that more fidelity. So, yeah, really, really good stuff there.
Yeah, like the blade element theory in X-Plane, like everything has its sort of strengths and weaknesses, really, as for both of the different sims. So, yeah, I think you can achieve good results in both. Yes, it could be quite a lot of work. But yeah, you tend to find certain areas of flight performance maybe are better in X-Plane, like low speed flight, high speed flight, high speed flight sims. Yeah, you've got to kind of do the best you can with each sim.
Actually, one thing I'm curious about is how do you kind of determine the difference between what you experience and what it should really be like, and then say, right, how do we deal with that delta?
It's a combination, all works in combination really of the hard facts and figures and performance information from the manuals. The aircraft like the Hawk, the RAF aircraft tend to have quite good handling notes from the pilots to get an idea of kind of how it should feel. Obviously, that's all kind of text as opposed to real world experience. So then that's when the real world pilots get involved. It's what's happening.
They give you the feedback.
Yeah, so once you've got it kind of working by the book in theory, driving figures, then pass it to them. So like the trim someone was talking about earlier, has been changed many times based on that feedback. But flight dynamics are one of those things where you improve one area and you throw out another area slightly, so it's always a training around. But yeah, no, it's difficult. I mean, when you did the GA,
imagine that bit must be worse when you're trying to build on top. I mean, if you're doing it just from the initial raw build and you kind of design it the way you think it should be, and then it isn't quite the way it should be. And I can imagine, like you say, you press one thing and then something else pops out. That must be when it becomes a real headache.
Yeah, I think that's why all one of the harder jobs in the team is why it's much more stressful. Because it's someone will come up with a great suggestion for changing that part of it, and it will break the other part. And it's definitely one of the tough parts. And obviously, once we released it, we get a lot of feedback from that. Not always accurate to the other thing, of course, is people's expectations of how something should fly. So it's trying to balance that throughout.
Very subjective, isn't it?
Very, yeah. It's like someone who sort of thinks that that should be done. Oh, yes,
I've got so many questions in chat. I feel sorry for Martin. I'm not going to ask too many more, but someone asked actually, in fact Derek asked, are they just flight aircraft built using 3D scans or blueprints, or another way? I've absolutely no idea how you do it. It's just like magic to me.
It's like me as well, sort of, yeah, very much mastering, but no, it's we don't have any kind of scan technology. We just take huge amount of pictures. Obviously have the real world manuals, diagrams to work from, but part of it is kind of artistic guide as well. Shape and size and everything else, so yeah, kind of magic.
I don't know who's in formation with me right now, but you're doing a great job. Nice one.
I'm above you, I'm gonna come closer.
I see you, Sven. I see you. Looking very nice with your missiles aboard there.
You see my missiles?
I'm going to shoot you down.
No.
Shoot you down. Be nice now.
Okay, I'll turn the missile lock off. See, I don't find your jet wash.
Slate Flight has asked, will Just Flight be hosting the Flight Simulator show at Cosford next year? So I guess are you intending on going there next year to Cosford?
So we actually host a show, that's our show.
Oh, right. Even better. You realise I never...
Yeah, so it's been the second year, I think, this year. We haven't done it because of COVID. But yeah, I really hope so. Certainly the plan of way, pending any kind of other pandemics or global disasters. So yeah, fingers crossed. That'll be next October now. Yeah,
I certainly will be going, definitely. I've never been to one before, but I'll definitely be going this year. Next year.
Oh, it's been like years. Yeah, it's great. One of the only chances we get to go face to face. We tend to have quite a few of our development team there to chat to people and show you the latest stuff we're working on. Hopefully, you're looking at tornadoes involved in whatever.
Oh yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, definitely.
How's everybody doing, by the way, in terms of flight plan? We're heading to, in fact, I'm not heading there, I should be.
A little bit too much to on the right.
Yeah, Echo Golf X-Ray Whiskey, which is RAF Waddington. We're going to do a bit of a buzz over there, wake up the local residents, and then we're heading to Lincoln Cathedral, and then which is really close by, and then it's our last stop at RAF Scampton.
Should I be seeing a power station?
Yeah, don't fly into that.
I can see 2 holes. Oh no, I see more holes.
Your cathedral.
That's a bit further north, actually.
Anybody have a heading to the airport?
I'm heading 070 at the moment. But that might not be helpful. I don't know. But maybe, let's say the GPS is a really great feature. If you just click direct to, then it'll be Echo Golf X-Ray Whiskey.
I'm showing 106 degrees heading.
I'm going direct now.
To be fair though, probably haven't synced my look. No, yeah, that's correct.
Are we gonna land there?
The only thing I don't like about the Just Fly a Hawk is the fact that I don't want to fly anything else now.
You set the bar very high for the others.
It's like every time because I like to fly even without all the YouTubey thing, just for myself. And every time, recently I'm thinking, what do I want to fly? It's the Hawk. It's got to be. And it's just like, it's so difficult not to fly this thing. It's just something about the way you made it, created it. It feels alive. It is.
Have you seen this done before? Interviewing the developer while Formation are flying their aircraft.
It's a world first. I think it is.
It's so much more immersive, isn't it? You can really relate to. It's a much better interview.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think that way you get to fly the aircraft and learn more about it from the man himself. Whilst we're enjoying it. So yeah, you should do this more often. I think.
You've got to keep this going.
No bug.
Well, I'm going in for a low pass here.
Well, sometimes it's still nice to go take it easy and slowly with the Piper Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the Piper Arrow series. If I want to, for the Piper Arrow series, for me, if
the
I
Warrior
want to really
too, for me.
recreate a real flight, I'll use the Piper Arrows in VR, and I instantly am reminded of how it feels again in real life. It's more of a real world experience for me.
Right, and practicing things like my qualifying cross country for real flying, combination of sort of photographic textures and realistic aircraft is really useful. Great training aid.
Yeah, actually, Martin, how did you even go about the skills to be able to code this kind of thing? Was it born out of a desire, just as an enthusiast, like you say, you was 18 when you joined? Was it something that you just loved? It was something that was a hobby, and then it ended up becoming a profession and a career.
Yeah, so flight simulation was a hobby from child right through to teenager, because my dad was in the RAF and loved aviation. So that's where flight simulation came from. And then coding, I did coding at sixth form, UK version of college, and I did a degree in my spare time. So I kind of got the formal side of it that way. Just sort of sitting down, studying the SDK. It's obviously a big part is understanding aircraft systems and how aircraft work. It's a combination of skills, really.
You sound so humble when you say it all. It's just, to me, it's all just, I don't know, magic, to be honest. Because to me, I don't understand how something, it's just code, it's just numbers, it's just, a computer language.
It's all logic. If it doesn't, then do that. If it doesn't, then do this. That's largely extended. That on the grand scale is how we do it. It's very satisfying when it comes together. Come to life. Sitting down with the manual and learning new aircraft is what I really enjoy as much as I think. Sitting down with the manual and understanding the quirks of each aircraft, how to operate it. So I'm doing that, combining it with making it work like that. I think that's a big part of what makes a good aircraft is the developer having genuine passion for it.
That makes sense. It's not just about the flight. It's not just about the textures and making it look good. It's about knowing all those little idiosyncrasies of the aircraft that you might not, the average person might not know, and putting them into it. And maybe that's the key to make it feel alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the little features you mentioned earlier, like the kind of breathing and things like that. It's sort of useful to be an enthusiastic simmer myself, because I hopefully know what other people might look for, what they might not look for, what's going to be a waste of time, what's worth doing.
X-ray London traffic, British Aerospace, Sierra Papa Alpha Romeo Kilo Yankee 1 mile,
And
reached
obviously all the feedback you guys give us directly soon tells me if I'm right or wrong.
Yes, of course.
And lots of, say, a lot of the ideas, a lot of the things that are in this update that's coming along soon are ideas that people give me on forums and YouTube videos that I've just gone, sounds like a great idea, so I'll put that in there. So yeah,
that's great. It's great how you're always open to, criticism, I guess, even as well, and sort of, open to the idea of adding new things, which is quite novel.
I really don't mind. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if someone bigger aircraft is terrible, then I might get a bit upset. But if someone,
I don't think that'll ever happen, to be honest, Martin. I really no, it's not going to happen. Absolutely not. Not with your ethos, anyway.
No, yeah, nothing's perfect, and people always have ideas you haven't thought of. Pick up on things you haven't spotted. I mean, you think how complex these aircraft are.
Yes.
Testing is very challenging. There's so many different ways to operate an aircraft. If someone does something in a slightly different way to what you'd expect them to do it in, it might not work as you should do.
Touchdown.
Very challenging.
What was your biggest challenge with this aircraft, would you say?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, what thing are you most proud of with it, say, for instance? I mean, is there anything that stands out to you where you go, I nailed that bit of the system, or...
Yes, that's come back to me in a few seconds. I'm trying to think of that, really.
Good question.
You got him there.
And what aircraft are the Red Arrows going to when this plane goes out of service at the end of this
It's
this
that
decade,
weird
isn't it,
looking thing, isn't it? What's it called?
Modular Oralis, or I can't name it now, but it's a kind of modular aircraft design, isn't it, where you can sort of change it. He's actually, I met Tim Davis last year before at our Cosby show a couple of years ago, and he actually works for that company now that's coming up with that aircraft design.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty sure that's public information. I'm just but yeah, no, he's worked for them now. But yeah, in terms of what I'm proud of, it's it stands out sort of a particular system on this particular aircraft. On the 146, I think the sort of thrust modulation system, kind of rudimentary, sort of auto throttle, took a bit of work. That was quite interesting to do.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of people don't. Sorry, go on.
So the TACAM's quite interesting on this. So you have to kind of come up with a way of sort of converting the kind of 33x into sort of frequency the flights can understand. But obviously, it's not perfectly designed for TACAM.
So there's some rudimentary functionality with the TACAM, man. Is that right? Does it detect a radial, but not the distance?
Yeah, it's basically there, but the military version of VOR. So in real life, it gives you a bearing and a distance, just like a VOR DME. But the limitation at the moment in flight is if something is considered a TACAM in the sim, you'll only get distance, you won't get bearing. So in this aircraft, you can tune a TACAM or VOR DME, but TACAM you'll only get the distance. You have to tune you can tune a VOR DME into the TACAM radio and use the tune that way. So hopefully they'll fix that. It doesn't sound like a complex thing to fix. I think it's just navigation. Yeah, other than that, from a pilot point of view, very much VOR DME style. You'll see on the HSI, I don't know if anyone who used it, but green arrow gives you your bearing. The current
I've been using it actually for this flight.
Yeah, that's quite useful. Lots of people use that in conjunction with
Awesome. Honestly, it's absolutely it's so interesting. I'm gonna listen to this back. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna listen to this back just because it's so interesting to hear from the developer. You don't get this kind of information every day. So yeah, thank you so much, Martin, for letting us know a little bit what goes on, really.
Yeah. One of the challenges, I guess, of military aircraft flight sim is trying to work out how to implement military-centric sort of systems in civilian sim. So, like, how to implement a UHF radio when it doesn't have UHF.
Yes, exactly.
So that's kind of one thing I'll give thought to. So like here in this, the UHF radio acts as COM2 and uses sort of VHF frequencies. So that takes a bit of sort of thought. And I suppose one system that is quite quirky in this, obviously got the gas turbine starter, which people probably aren't used to, like a sort of like an APU that only provides sort of bleed air for engine start, doesn't provide any electrical power. And the hydraulic system, where you start with hydraulic system 1 pressurized, and then you bring hydraulic system 2 online. So that's quite an interesting little quirk, I think.
Yeah, because on the X-Plane version, I think you had to manage the hydraulic 1 and hydraulic 2. Oh, someone's just crashed.
Yeah, big.
You used to press the buttons, didn't you?
That was a big crash,
I think
Smithy.
Now it seems hydraulic 1 goes online on its own, and then you just have to basically reset hydraulic 2. I thought that was interesting because that's different from the X-Plane version.
Okay.
What a place to have an itchy back.
Sort of pressurizes 1, and then you reset. There's a valve which closes that you reopen with the reset button. It allows pressure into hydraulic 2. But yeah, you'll notice that if you rapidly move your flight controls, you'll see both hydraulic systems depleting pressure.
Do you know, again, something else I've now just learned about this aircraft. I love it. Yes,
Yeah,
I've just noticed that.
In the real-world flight tests, if you go into sort of level cruise and bring your throttle right back and wiggle your controls very enthusiastically, you can actually get the ram air turbine to pop out in flight.
I'm going to have to definitely try that at some point.
Yeah. Because the pump is sort of operate full flow, and you can, so that's how they test the ram air turbine in real life without obviously needing to turn the engine off.
It's interesting to have that limitation in the real aircraft, considering it's an aerobatic. They've used it for the red arrows. You think there'd be, that pressure.
And you don't tend to waggle it that enthusiastically. But and the other quirk that some people might notice is when you shut down the aircraft, the ram air turbine will pop out very briefly.
I did notice that.
I noticed that. Like I did something wrong.
I did. Yeah.
That's just like a real aircraft. So that's when the hydraulic system 2 pressure is depleting. The ram air turbine will pop out as it's getting low, but then once the pressure reaches 0, it will spring itself back in again.
Oh, that's good to know. Interesting.
Yeah, next time I'm at an air show, I'm looking out for that because I've never noticed that before. And in some air shows, you can get really up close.
Yeah. If you're in the cockpit, you hear the clunk from it going up and down. I was like, "What's happening?" And I go to the external view and see that little robot come up and down.
Robot. Yeah, it does look like one of robot.
It's like R2-D2. He's in the back.
The amount of pressure of the ram air turbine will also vary depending on the airspeed. So if you're at, say, 120 knots, you might find the ram air turbine isn't spinning fast enough to build up the pressure as quickly as you're depleting it. But above, I think, about 170 knots, it'll develop full pressure. So that's also matters.
Martin, I have a question on the speed brake.
Yep.
Can it be deployed at pretty much any time, like a standard speed brake, even on the ground?
So the only way to deploy it on the ground is there's an air brake test switch on the right-hand console. And if you move that forward...
But it doesn't work if it's already mapped to a controller.
The air brake is?
Yeah. The test doesn't work if it's mapped to my lever on my honeycomb. If I detach it, unbind it, then it works. But if it's binded, it doesn't do it.
Works on my HOTAS.
Yeah, it works for me, Sven, on mine.
No, not on mine.
You're using the wrong sort of joystick with that aircraft.
Nice one, Rennie. I just got a nice pass there of you. Oh, look at that. 3-point hesitate and roll there. Nice one. Just got my drone. Looking at all your guys landing here.
Yes.
Works on mine too.
Ah. I have it for all my plane. The lever is a speed brake and it works perfectly. Also on this plane, but then the test doesn't work.
Martin, that was close.
Yeah, the sounds are just amazing of these planes coming by. It's like in real life.
It is actually, yeah. For the first time, because now I can hear the sound of the aircraft obviously the Hawk as a flyby, because you didn't have that option in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and hearing it going from one side to the other sounds really nice, and that's probably something that it's probably not even. It's a shame we don't have a flyby view, but it really shows the sound set off, I think, in the external view.
Planning landing, Mark.
Are they? That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. Should we have a bit of a group photo then, guys? Before we wrap this up, because I don't want to keep Martin any longer, because we've already been we've been longer than specified. So I just want to quickly say,
screenshotting a lot.
Yeah, do it. But thank you for everybody, both on YouTube for viewing this, and also specifically for everybody here, and of course Martin for just giving us all that inside information and just being here. It's been, I think, a wonderful way of getting to know the aircraft from the developer's point of view. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
for
man.
organising it, Steve.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And congrats the entire team, because the plane is just magnificent. It really is.
Yeah, thanks. It's after kind of 6 months of looking at one aircraft, you always tend to kind of want to look at something new. But it's on to the 146 now for me. That'll be my next coding project.
Nice.
Let us know if you got any questions. A friend of mine was like captain on that with Flybe for about 15 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, by all means, I think the message on here. It's an aircraft type I really enjoy coding. 146 is often not exciting as a Hawk, but it's a very quirky airline to operate, quite a lot of sort of piloting required, so it's a bit less boring than the regular airline something. As usual, sort of British aircraft tend to be quite interesting stuff.
Is that the model that you did for the X-Plane recently?
Yeah, I went into P3D and X-Plane, and then just going through all sorts of visual upgrades, microfighting. So yeah, now I'll be jumping on systems coding for that, and hopefully we'll follow that the RJ variant, which is
How are sales now on like P3D and X-Plane versus Microsoft? I mean, this seems to have like really, it's a huge leap forward in visuals, and I know systems and stuff are slightly different, but I mean, I'm assuming that this outsells the others now, does it? Or
it's difficult to tell because we don't have a like-for-like products. It's we released for X-Plane maybe 3 years ago and 5 years ago for P3D. So you can never quite get that kind of like-for-like figures, but certainly Microsoft Flight to be out selling those other platforms, I'm sure what's going around it. So we're quite interested to see X-Plane 12 because although I love this platform, I would always like to have more and more platforms to work on. P3D, yeah, again, we've not really released a great deal for it recently, but it's definitely been impacted by
it's not that you see a lot of customers come over to the Microsoft platform. You must see these movements, no?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will fly multiple sims. So I think there's always a tendency on social media, especially to kind of sim battles, kind of pick one or the other, sort of situation. But in reality, I think most people, most of you guys probably have multiple sim people.
I've got three Hawks.
Yes.
So you might fly VFR in this, and then you might jump back to doing an airline. I can see both 737 and X-Plane. So they've all got their strengths and weaknesses. I know I fly multiple sims, so I think for the foreseeable, people will be using multiple.
Still swaying more. I find myself every time I go into the other ones, I'm like, I look at it and go, God, this looks like it's from last century, in terms of graphically and stuff, isn't it? It's it's
a challenge, and I think the key turning point will be when we get our 146 in there and in in there 737, and people see that although there are some limitations, it's possible to have complex airliners in Microsoft Flight Sim. Maybe that'll bring some extra people across. Personally, I do like having multiple platforms. I like the X-Plane community, and I hope X-Plane 12 does well. So, I certainly have no wish to see what happens.
It's good for the industry. It's good for competition. We must, I think, if we can, support all sims as much as we possibly can. And I do feel, I am a massive fan of X-Plane, and even though I was a bit underwhelmed by X-Plane 12's presentation, I do feel hopefully they'll come through, But can I just say, everybody on YouTube, I'm now going to end the stream on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for everybody who's just come and watched or even flown. I'm sure everyone here who's been flying is probably on the live stream as well. But we'll do this again very soon. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Yeah. Thank you for hosting. Nice show.
Sorry, I was just saying that for the YouTube, and you can carry on now. You can carry on trying if you want. I just had to end the stream because it was But yeah, absolutely amazing. What a fantastic flight this has been. It's been really, really fantastic. Thank you to everybody, really. Look at all those hawks. I'm just in drone mode at the moment. They look amazing. All sat here at Scampton.
Can't see your drone mode anymore now, Steve. Stop your stream.
No, I'm still here though, don't worry. I'm just not on YouTube anymore.
I crashed out badly ages ago, so I've just been watching on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm in the stream also then.